Right then, hello, how are you doing? My name's Dan, this is the Fun Kids Science Weekly, officially, certificatedly, the greatest podcast in the history of the universe. I've got the award and everything, got a medal, shiny medal, it's hanging up in my toilet right now. Thank you for listening. This week, we'll look at one of the deadliest plant poisons in the world. Also, you can hear how scientists think they've solved one of the biggest mysteries in the universe, and we'll answer your questions, the ones that you have sent over to us on Apple Podcasts this week. It's all about what makes old people a little bit wrinkly, also why there is less air higher up in the atmosphere, and we'll look at how diamonds are made. So that's coming up. Stick around first. Let's try and help some of our alien friends get back home. This is N&G on the Science Weekly.
N&G's Energy Challenge.
G, is that you?
I don't know what happened. I was just making a little snack with the toasty burner thingamajig, and the toast got a bit stuck, so I used these barbecue tongs to get them out. And
Next thing you know, you've got an electric shock. That's what. Dearie me, G. It's a wonder you ever graduated from Zog Space Cadets. Electricity loves to travel through metal objects. That's why you must never poke metal things into electrical items or plug sockets.
well, we don't have toasty burners on Zog.
Even still, I think you need a reminder about safety around electricity. Let's check out their handy website.
Welcome to elecquizzery.com. Find out more about energy on Earth and post your questions for the Quizlet.
Ah, here's one.
How do we stay safe around electricity?
Tip 1. Keep metal objects well away from electrical objects. Electricity can travel through the metal and into your body, where it can cause burns or even kill.
Told you so.
All right, clever clogs.
Tip 2. Water is another substance which electricity loves to travel through. Make sure you don't get water on electrical items. And ensure your hands are dry before you handle computers or hairdryers or any other gadget powered by electricity.
That's a shame, as I was going to take the telly box in the bar. Doctor Who's on tonight. I love that.
Well, don't.
Tip 3. Be careful with cables. Keep them tidy so they don't get damaged. Don't tug on them to get plugs out of the socket. And tell a grown-up if they look burnt or split.
All this talking of burning is making me want another slice of toast. My tummy's rumbling.
Tip 4. When you're playing outside, never go near substations or pylons, and be careful if you're flying a kite nearby. Electricity loves to travel, and you don't want to be the place it ends up. And if someone you're with has an electric shock, it's important that you don't touch them. The electricity may still be travelling through them, and it would love to leap into you too. The best thing to do is to quickly get help from a grown-up or dial 999. Stay safe, everyone.
What great tips. So, if your toast gets stuck in the toasty burner next time, what are you going to do, G?
Have a bowl of cereal instead?
Good idea. Earth cereal really is tasty, isn't it? We should take some back to Zog. They'd love it. Watch out! Looks like we're gonna fuse, G!
Here it comes. Whoopee! I love a bit of fusion.
Here it comes! Woohoo!
N&G's Energy Challenge with support from National Grid. Find out more online at funkidslive.com/energy.
Now, if you listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, remember to follow us while you're there, so every episode of the show automatically downloads into your podcast feed. While you're on it, also, you can leave a review for the show with a science question in there. I will see it, I'll see your name, I'll see 5 stars, I will say hello, and I'll do my best to find the answer to the science question niggling around your brain. Hello to Horselover812, who wants to know, this is a brilliant question, who wants to know, why are old people so wrinkly? I mean, you don't beat around the bush, straight to it. Old people, you're wrinkly, let's find out why. Horse lover, thank you for this. It's all to do with something called collagen, which is a protein. It makes skin look plump and young. Now, when you get older, you stop making as much collagen, and that makes you look older. It makes you wrinkly. Also, things that you do while you're growing up might affect it. If you're always on holiday, you don't wear sun cream that well. You always should, but if you don't wear sun cream that well, lots of sunlight will affect how much collagen you make and will affect how your skin looks. And also living near big polluting places. It makes antioxidants fill your skin and that makes you wrinkle quicker. Thank you for that, horse lover. Fantastic question. That's why old people are just so wrinkly. Also, Mask Wearer 123 gets in touch, wants to know, why is there less oxygen and carbon dioxide higher up in the atmosphere? Now, there are two reasons. One, the biggest one, gravity. The Earth's gravity pulls the air that's up there closer to the ground. Also, because there is less of it up there, because of gravity, the bits of air that do make it that high, it's spread further out. It's less dense. So the air becomes thinner. So you feel like there's less oxygen and carbon dioxide, which makes it really hard to breathe. Thank you for that, Mask Wearer. And lastly, with the questions this week, Chloe Nichols wants to know, how are diamonds made? A diamond is the hardest rock known on Earth. Now, it's made of just simple carbon atoms. Carbon, one of the most abundant elements in the universe. You can find it all over the place. It's the only thing that really makes up diamonds. It's got a three-dimensional molecular structure, which makes them really hard to scratch. It's really simple, and it's its simplicity which makes it so tough and hard. Now, they're normally made in the upper mantle of the Earth, where there is huge heat. There's lots of stuff around. There's high pressure. It's got all of the world above it pressing down. It squeezes them into this particular molecular structure that makes them so unique. Thank you for the question, Chloe Nichols. If you've got something that you want answered, you need to leave it as a review over on Apple Podcasts and follow us while you're there. This week on the Fun Kids Science Weekly, a very exciting announcement. Girl Guiding and Google, they've announced the winner of a nationwide competition calling for brownies to invent their very own robot. And there's a chance that their invention can be brought to life. And I'm amazed to say the winner is a girl called Amy. She's 8 years old. She's from Cotmanthorpe in North Yorkshire, and she's with us now. Hello, Amy.
Hi.
Now, firstly, when you heard about this national competition, you could invent any robot you wanted. What did you start thinking about?
We started thinking about people who are lonely in lockdown.
Amazing. So you're trying to do good with your invention. Then when you think about the people who are lonely, who are in lockdown, how did you think that maybe your robot could help them?
Well, he makes tea for you. And
Yeah.
he has a blanket for you.
Do you imagine that this robot would be stood up, would be like a metal human that makes tea and brings you a blanket, or is it something smaller?
He's not she isn't a human. She's a robot cat.
She's a robot cat. Amazing. Yeah. And so how would it work if we were to imagine this, Amy? If I was someone who needed a cup of tea, who was a bit lonely, who needed a blanket, how would I call your robot cat to help me out?
You would say, "Hey, Broogle, make tea."
Hey, Broogle, make tea, and then it would just go away and it would make me a cup of tea?
Yeah. And it would ask you if you wanted sugar or milk.
Okay, would it go and use, the kettle and the milk like your mum and dad might do, or does it kind of have everything inside it?
Yeah, it has a storage as a bum.
Its bum is the storage?
Yeah.
So does that mean it kind of poops out a cup of tea?
No! It gets the stuff out of there and then she makes it.
Oh, okay. Where does it keep the blanket?
On her back.
Ah, on her back. And how tall is it? Is it just like the size of a normal cat?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit bigger though.
A little bit bigger. I'm thinking big picture, Amy. So when you've made Broogle, what's the next thing that Broogle could do? Maybe is there anyone else that it could help out? Do you think? Who do you reckon?
Yeah, she's got a table as a back.
So it's kind of like I'm really getting a good picture of Broogle now. She's a little bit of a bigger cat, a bit like a moving walking table with a fridge in her bum, pretty much. Is that what you're saying?
And an oven.
And an oven
As a belly.
And another, also she can make nice, maybe cups of cake. She can make cakes and stuff, I guess, a bit later on.
Yeah.
Amy, so you've won this prize. What does it mean to you for your idea, your invention, to kind of be made now? How do you feel about that? And has it got your voice in it? Is that right? Is there a part of you with it?
Yeah.
So you're 8 years old and you've pretty much made an invention. You've invented this robot. I know it's a kind of long way away and things are a bit strange at the moment, but when you're older, do you think you might like to carry on in inventing and helping people out?
Yeah.
Nice. Have you got any like ideas of what you would like to be with that?
Yeah, a scientist.
Amazing. What's your favourite part of science?
Explosions.
Making things blow up, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, brilliant. I tell you what, Amy, thank you so much for joining us on the Fun Kids Science Weekly. Brilliant work winning this prize. I'd love to meet Broogle one day. Broogle because it's brownies and Google, right?
Yeah, and brew.
Oh, and brew!
For brewing tea.
I love it's all about the tea. Amy, listen, thank you so much for joining us on the show and congratulations for winning the prize. Now, this week's Dangerous Dan is one of the deadliest plant poisons on the planet. The castor bean sounds like a bean, it looks like a bean, but it's not a bean at all. It's the seed of the ricinus plant. Does that name ring a bell? The ricinus? It should do for die-hard Fun Kids Science Weekly fans, because we've heard before it makes you, well, die hard, really. You can find out why in just a sec. The castor bean plant is found in India, in the hot, humid climate of Asia. Now, if you squeeze the seed, you get castor oil, which is fine. It's used in soaps, it's cars, plastics, perfumes. It's used all over the place. That's fine. But the bean contains ricin, which is 12,000 times more poisonous than rattlesnake venom. The oil is okay, but the bean of the ricinus plant is deadly. It can drop an adult dead within minutes. Just eating from a bean, not even a bean, just eating from a seed can be extremely dangerous, extremely deadly. It's why the castor bean from the ricinus plant goes straight onto our Dangerous Dan list. Let's have a look deep down inside your body now, see what's happening with our microbe friends. This is Benny and Mal.
Benny and Mal's Body Teasers, with supports from the Nuffield Council on Bioethics.
Hello again. Now, as Nurse Nanobot loves to point out, my lab can get a bit messy. But what she doesn't realise is there's an awful lot of interesting stuff going on under all that mess. Take Benny and Mal, for instance. They are microbes. That's single-celled organisms to you and me who live at the bottom of an old test tube. And being single-celled organisms, they are very single-minded. Just have a listen. Benny and Mal never agree on anything.
You're not listening. No, I am listening. You're the one that's not doing it. You keep interrupting me.
So, lads, what's the hot topic today?
Listen to what I've got to say.
Oi, lads, what's the hot topic?
Sorry, mate. Mal's being a total animal and saying there's nothing wrong with using animal tissue and organs for human transplants.
Oh, if that sounds like a load of gobbledygook, what that means is using bits of animals to fix humans when they get poorly. Did you know humans can sometimes survive with a pig's heart? In fact, on the inside, pigs are very similar to humans.
Yeah, and if you ask me, that's where a pig's heart should stay, on the inside of a pig. There's no way that I would want to go sticking bits of an animal inside me. It's a horrible idea. Just plain wrong. We shouldn't use animals in that way. End of. What's that you got? Smells good. Ooh, bacon. All right, I see what you've done there.
Well, think about it. Lots of humans already use animals for food. That's just sticking bits of animals inside their bodies, isn't it? So there's no point in getting all icky about it. What's the difference between a pig's heart and a lovely, tasty bit of bacon?
Quite a lot, actually.
At any one time, there are thousands of humans waiting for transplants. Animal organs can be used to help save lives. How cool would it be if we could have farms for organs and not just for meat? thousands of humans could get better.
Farms for organs? Yuck. It just feels wrong. Like something out of a terrible horror movie.
Calm down, pal. As we said 100 times, when you feel something is wrong, it's really helpful to other people to try and explain why. So come on, what's the yuck about? Explain yourself.
All right. If you let me get a blooming word in. Well, all this talk of saving lives. It's not saving the pig's life, is it? And think about this. What gives us the right to use animals anyway? Loads of people choose not to eat animals or use anything made from animals. You know, vegetarians and vegans.
Of course, each to their own.
Well, they might not want a pig's heart inside them, even if it did save their life. And if they say, no thanks Porky, to the pig heart, do they get a human heart instead?
Fair points, Benny. I'll give you credit for that.
And here's another question for you. Where are you getting all these animal organs from? Are you going to use animals born especially to give their organs away? Or, I don't know, are you using animals from the wild?
What do you mean the wild?
Maybe hunting in the park for squirrels to use.
I never said anything about squirrels.
Ah, yes, but pigs today could be squirrels tomorrow. Or dogs, and cats, and elephants, and monkeys, and mice.
Certainly complicates things when you put it like that.
You see, I maybe could just about be okay with a pig's heart. But do you really want to use, say, the cat for spare parts?
Wouldn't bother me. I don't see why Whiskers gets special treatment just because she's all cute and fluffy. Porky the pig has feelings too, you know.
As I said perfectly clearly, I'd rather not have to judge animals at all. I think we should leave them all in peace and find some other way to save lives.
And what other way is that? Got some ideas, have you?
Yes. I mean, I'm not sure. All right, I might not have an answer right now, but it doesn't change how I feel. Feelings count for something, right?
Well, of course, but it helps if we can work out what's behind those feelings, and there are certainly lots of things to think about.
It's a brain-busting body bamboozler for sure.
Sure is. Catch you next time.
Benny and Mal's Body Teasers, with support from the Nuffield Council on bioethics. Find out more at funkidslive.com/Benny and Mal.
Let's get to this week's Science in the News. Scientists think they've solved one of the big mysteries of the universe. Where has Mars's water gone? There used to be a lot of water there. It flowed across the surface billions of years ago, and now experts think it's locked in minerals below the surface of the red planet. Interesting, we were talking about diamonds earlier. I guess this is kind of a similar thing. The experts, they've used data from spacecraft, rovers and meteorites that have been looking at Mars, and they think the water is now stored underground as rocks on the red planet. Also, some good news, airplane fuel made from food waste dramatically lowers nasty carbon emissions, scientists say. Food scraps are being turned into a type of fuel called paraffin, which burns in jet engines, and they say it's much better for the environment. And finally, a German research boat has made an incredible trip around Antarctica's latest mega iceberg. It sailed a complete circuit all around the 500 square mile berg over the weekend. It also had to squeeze through the very narrow channel that separates the berg from the ice shelf that it broke off just 2 weeks ago. And that is it for this week's Fun Kids Science Weekly. Thank you so much for listening. If you've got any science questions that you want answered, you need to leave it as a review over on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you follow us while you're there, so all the episodes automatically download into your podcast feed. If you listen on Spotify as well, make sure you follow us there. You can find us on Google Podcasts, really wherever you get your shows from. The Fun Kids Science Weekly will crop up. I mean, we are the greatest podcast in the history of the universe. Makes sense that we're all over the place. You can also find us on funkidslive.com and on the free Fun Kids app. And Fun Kids, we're a children's radio station from the UK. Listen to us all over the country on your DAB digital radio, on that free Fun Kids app, and at funkidslive.com.